What's going on, y'all? This is John with Facemask Fantasy, and over this past weekend, the New England Patriots acquired longtime Dolphins wide receiver DeVante Parker from the Dolphins in a swap of draft picks and Parker that included a 2022 fifth-round pick going to the Pats, along with Parker for a 2023 third-round pick. Parker became obsolete in Miami after they acquired Tyreek Hill from the Chiefs in a blockbuster deal that blew the fantasy world away a few weeks ago, as well as after they signed Cedric Wilson in free agency, who comes over from the Cowboys. Now, I believe this was best case scenario for Parker, as he now gets to assume the wide receiver 1 job in New England as Mac Jones' new de facto go-to wide receiver, instead of being an afterthought NFL wide receiver 3 behind Hill and Waddle in Miami, fighting for targets in a three-way battle with Gesicki and Wilson. But what should we expect from Parker in 2022? Parker had been a wide receiver 3 for the majority of his career, outside of a career year he had in 2019 with Ryan Fitzpatrick as his de facto wide receiver 1. A season in which he compiled 1,202 receiving yards and 9 touchdowns, and finished as the wide receiver 6 overall in standard leagues, wide receiver 7 in half PPR, and the wide receiver 11 overall in PPR leagues. Outside of that clear outlier year from Parker, he's topped out at 103 targets. In his 7-year career, he's only eclipsed 96 targets twice, in his age 26 season and his age 27 seasons, which are commonly regarded as the age apex seasons for a wide receiver. He's now 29 and has declined in health over the past 3 seasons, having missed 10 games over the last 2. His early career woes had a lot to do with bad quarterback play, and he has suffered from suspect quarterback play ever since Ryan Fitzpatrick was benched in 2020 for Tua Tagovailoa and left for Washington in 2021. DeVante Parker will now be playing with arguably the best young quarterback prospect he's ever had in Mac Jones. In 2019, his career year, Ryan Fitzpatrick threw the ball 502 times, and in 2021, Mac Jones threw the ball 521 times, albeit in one more game. If the Patriots do not do enough to bolster their very talent-deficient wide receiver core through the draft, Parker will be this team's wide receiver 1 come week 1 and could push for the 128 targets he received in 2019. And if that's the case, and he can stay healthy, which is a very big ask for Parker, I think he's a good bet to finish as the wide receiver 2 and possibly even a high-end wide receiver 2. But can we really expect the Pats to ignore their wide receiver deficiencies in the draft? Right now, on their depth chart, they've got Parker, Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, N'Keal Harry, Jacoby Myers, and special teamers Matthew Slater and Trey Nixon. I don't think there's any way they go into the 2022 season with that depth chart expecting to compete in a division where the Bills are perennial Super Bowl contenders and the Dolphins are playoff hopefuls after their flurry of moves this offseason. The Pats are in danger of being the 4th best team in this division if the Jets take a step forward in year 2 with Zach Wilson and the offensive weapons that they've chosen to surround him with. I believe the Pats basically must take a wide receiver sometime within the first 3 rounds, most likely within the first 2. They don't need a tight end, they don't need a running back, they should invest in O-line, but the primary focus on the offensive side of the ball in the draft should be wide receiver to help Mac Jones compete in a loaded division. If they draft wide receiver in the first 2 rounds, DeVante Parker is more of a wide receiver 3 with wide receiver 2 upside. If they fail to address the position, which I think is really not in the realm of possibilities, he can be a wide receiver 2 with high-end wide receiver 2 upside. But I think the days of DeVante Parker's wide receiver 1 candidacy have come and gone. Compounding this is the fact that the Patriots are one of the league's most run-heavy teams, and Mac Jones finished in the bottom half of the league in deep accuracy, completing only 37% of his passes over 20 yards. DeVante Parker's 2019 wide receiver 1 season was bolstered by Fitzmagic going deep to Parker on multiple occasions, and I don't think that's going to be happening a lot in this run-first conservative offense that the Patriots are going to be fielding in 2022. Therefore, I am not high on Parker's fantasy prospects in 2022, and I believe he's going to top out at high-end wide receiver 3, low-end wide receiver 2 value weekly, and that's if he can stay healthy, which is never a given with Parker from year to year. But what do you guys think about DeVante Parker's fantasy prospects in 2022? Put your thoughts in the comments section below, or better yet, tune into one of our weekly live streams. We have a live stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. EST, so come through, drop your comment or question on DeVante Parker or any other fantasy wide receiver, running back, quarterback, or any general fantasy related question in the chat, and we can have a real-time discussion about it. But my name is John, this is Facemask Fantasy. Thank you for listening and have a great day.